Hello ratbags, it's Jade Plays Games back with another Ark Survival Evolved video. Guys, we've got even more information about Ark Extinction. Loads of people got a chance to play at the TwitchCon event this morning. Lots of streamers obviously from TwitchCon got to take some photographs, and they were also able to record actual Extinction gameplay. It seemed a really crap way of highlighting and showing it off before anyone else got to see it, but the Ark devs let them do this. You guys have been giving me loads of information, so big shout out to all the ratbags giving me loads of info and showing me loads of tweets from loads of TwitchCon streamers giving more details. And I'm sure by now you've seen Thick Bait showing off what he called a leak with footage from the event, as well as Amphomia claiming that it was leaks. But they weren't leaks, they were actually given permission by the Wildcard devs. Either way, they show off a bunch of stuff. I've got a separate one that I've not seen anywhere else, so I'm going to show you how the Horde mode works a little bit, and the possibility of a brand new wolf-style creature in Ark. There's loads of pictures, and we're going to go through some of the new stuff, but I also wanted to clear up the idea about the King Kaiju, or whether or not this is the boss. So we know there's 4 titans, and we know there's a King Titan, or a Kaiju. You've got the Forest Titan, the Frost Titan, which everyone is assuming is the one in the trailer, and it does look like possibly that's right. Then the Sky Titan is the Leviathan that we've seen, and now we've got confirmation that this is maybe the Desert Titan, if you believe the Ark Wiki. But remember, Ark Wikis can be edited by anyone. But it's reasonable to assume that this is indeed the Fire Titan. So I went back over the Japanese interviews that I told you about weeks ago, where I first broke exclusively that the big mech suit was coming, and there was in fact 5 titans and a boss titan. And there's a few different variations and different translations. This guy here is one of the lead guys who owns Ark Survival Evolved. They were at a media session at Japanese Game Show. Now I've shown this off a couple times, but this is where I went wrong with the translation, obviously trying to work out exactly how it got from Japanese to English. It goes on about Pixark, which is pretty crap, then talking about the Nintendo Switch version, which is some decent information, and then we get onto the Extinction stuff, and this is where it's important before we get onto the rest of the stuff. The size of the King Kaiju is about the tip of the nail of the foot, even in Tyrannosaurus. So that's a very bad translation. There is a better one. On the planet of the future, a huge organism named King Kaiju appears. The size is said to be the biggest dinosaur at present, and is about the nail of King Kaiju. It's too big to imagine for a moment, but he says it may be the biggest creature in game history. In addition, there are 4 types of Kaiju with different characteristics for each area, and each its size is about half of the King Kaiju. So if these are the normal 4 titans, we've got the Ice Titan supposedly. That's the one I thought was going to be the big boss, because when I kept seeing from the trailer, I realised his claw was about the size of a T-Rex, and so judging by that translation, that's what made me think that was going to be the big one. But nevertheless, 4 titans. We've got the flying one, which is obviously the Sky, the Leviathan. We've got the forest or the tree one. We've got what most people now assume is definitely the snow or ice one. And then we've got this guy, the Fire Titan or the Desert Titan. Remember, they're going to be living in their own biomes. There's going to be a specific shielded off area that you'll have to go in or do something like complete a dungeon before you can unlock them. Then you're going to have to defeat them, and that's how you'll actually tame them for a limited time. So that's going to be in the ice biome. That's going to be, I thought it was going to be maybe in the desert biome, but it's looking likely that'll actually be in the ruins. Which kind of makes sense, because you can't have one of these big creatures running around all them big huge buildings. So it makes more sense for that guy to be the one that flies above the ruins that maybe you've got to grapple onto, or you can jump from the ruins and try and get on top of him. And then this guy is going to be the desert one. But what blows my mind is the fact that the King Kaiju, according to that translation we just read, is double the size of one of these guys. Because King Kaiju cannot give damage in normal attack because of its size, players will also fight on a huge robot. The idea of this robot that crafts for each part, such as arm and leg, and becomes able to be ridden by assembling at the end, is influenced by Japanese animation include Gundam. According to Mr. Diner, one of the producers of Ark Survival Evolved, the size when assembled was that it would be about the size of King Kaiju and the usual Kaiju. Now the translation's obviously lost a little bit there, because it's saying it's the same size as both of them, which doesn't kind of make sense. How do you fight robots of extinction, the interviewer asks, and they've answered multiple players get in for each. Part and operate by fighting each, since it is possible to attack with parts alone. For example, it may be possible to knock down with only 1 legs if it's a normal Kaiju. But in the battle with King Kaiju, cooperation between players will be indispensable. They asked why they used the word Kaiju, and they said that Kaiju is the best naming to draw people's interest. The influence of Toho's Godzilla etc. has also raised awareness of the word Kaiju, and many Hollywood films have been made with works as Kaiju as a motif. As a result, the recognition of big monster equals Kaiju, mainly in the United States, is penetrating, so it's planned to be developed under the name of Kaiju in the worldwide. So they're not going to be called Titans officially, they're going to be called Kaijus. Can you handle the Kaijus? There's no schedule so far, but as a studio wildcard, I like to respond to fans' requests as much as possible. So if there are requests from fans after release, the 4 types other than King Kaiju may possibly be able to come up with it. Now that's a really hard question to understand what they're really asking there. Are they asking, can you control the 4 regular ones? From what I understood from what we read earlier, you'll be defeating all 4 regular Kaiju, or Titans I'm going to call them, and then that would unlock the robotic armor, the robotic mech suit I should say, and then you'd go and fight the big one. In battle with Kaiju, does the base of the player get stamped? Although the 4 types of Kaiju inhabit in each specific area, the King Kaiju wanders through the whole area, so your base may be destroyed. Please make a strong base. Can a battle of robot to robot be performed with PvP? Cannot do it with an official server, but I can do it with a rentable server. I think that this part is a unique part of ARK Survival Evolved, but in rental servers players can create their own play. So a little bit confusing information. Obviously it's the translation that might be a little bit lost. If we go back over another translation of it though, it says the robot seems to become one robot at last by separately making each part and combining it. But there was advice saying it is not easy to make one part because it's hard to make. Anyway, the scale is too big. 4 bodies of Kaiju other than King Kaiju. If you do your best, it seems that you may be able to knock down parts of the robot. Now this is another weird one. Knock down parts of the robot. For example, you may be able to beat only by the arm, but if you do not fight against in the King Kaiju by linking and completing the robot, the winning is Thin I supplemented it. So really bad translation people, I can't do more than what I'm doing with Google Translate. At the end a nice story began saying King Kaiju is difficult but ordinary Kaiju may be able to take time. Although we cannot make a promise at this stage, it was that we wanted to incorporate the elements that the user wants as much as possible. So there we go guys, that is pretty much all the articles I've been going over the last month, giving you the information about the Japanese interview. Some of it's definitely lost. If anyone knows any better or has got links to something more concrete, let me know. But now on to the more exciting stuff. What other features are coming to Extinction? Well, someone put this up on Twitter and we're going to watch it.
As possible, because once the shield is gone, there's no way to get the shield back. As I mentioned, this mode goes up to 5 waves before you can basically conclude the defense and take your reward. You can choose to defend for longer if you think you and your team can do such things. The longer you stay, the better the reward you'll get. But if you do end up losing the crate, you do get no reward.
It's really hard to tell whether that's a normal rocket launcher, but I have seen some other tweets and other bits and bobs saying that it could possibly be a massive rocket launcher, a tech one specifically. It does look like they're also all fighting over this control point. You can see this little beacon area here. And Jen's talking about a shield that you have to protect or stop, and you can't leave the shielded area or you won't get any rewards. So are the dinosaurs attacking this point? It seems like lots of them there are a mix of their own dinosaur tames against some of the enemies as well. There were loads of pictures, loads and loads being put out by loads of streamers and Twitchers, and some of the effects look pretty cool. The map is made by the same people that made the Ragnarok map, so effectively it should be absolutely massive. And really it encompasses all the biomes from the original game. When you think about it, the desert is scorched earth, the ruins is aberration, the forest is the island, and then obviously a mixture with the snow and ice biomes too. Now the wiki has been updated a bunch of times today, and I'm guessing it's because they've seen lots of the interactions between streamers and Twitchers, as well as some of this I haven't gone through in a while. But remember, all this could be changed. It could necessarily not be completely true. For a long time it only said there was 3 Titans in ARK Extinction, so take everything you hear with a grain of salt. But electromagnetic waves are present at certain locations, meaning your GPSs might be useless. there are going to be meteors from the sky, and that is kind of confirmed in the art. There's lots and lots of pictures, and even in the main one just behind it you can see there is some there if I find a better shot. But trust me, when you look over the picture again you can see the meteorites, they will fall to the earth. Now if you don't remember, they did say this when they launched it, that it's going to have a horde mode attached to it, and this is why, because the creatures are corrupted. So it doesn't matter if they're herbivores or whatever, you're going to have to fight off waves of them. And so maybe that's what Jen was talking about with that shield. Maybe that's the start of the Horde event. Now the wiki does stress a little bit more about going through dungeons to access the 4 Kaiju. Out the creatures will also start to get more information too. But this is maybe even more information about what we're seeing. We know about the gas bags, we know about the gacha, we know about the snow owl, we know about the desert titans and more. But a Velanosaur and a MANAGARMR. Now according to Google, MANAGARMR is kind of like a moonhound or moondog. Now it's in lots of different games, but mainly here it's in Octopath Traveler, but it definitely looks like some hyper version of a direwolf. So I'm stretching here, I have no idea what a Velanosaur is. It doesn't seem to be any sort of dinosaur that I can find, any sort of creature, and I'm definitely typing in the right thing, but Google has no answers for me. And then lastly, we've got even more stuff going on. What is this? We've got the Cryo Pods, we knew that was coming, where you can put your little dinosaurs and carry them around inside you. But you're also going to have a cryo fridge as well, so they're both going to be part of the tech tier stuff. Then we've got taxidermy tools. Taxidermy tools. So maybe it's not just simply a case of having certain dinosaur heads that you've defeated like bosses. You'll now be able to claim any trophy you want from any dinosaur you kill as long as you've got a taxidermy. Taxidermy is basically mummifying or making dead things able as decorations. So you might be able to fill your whole base with all the dinosaurs you've ever killed, like some mad massive hunter. Then it says mech missile launchers, so they're calling it mech and it's not tech. That's why I'm a bit, weird about it. So lots of good stuff, hopefully a few more reveals to get you a little bit excited and a little bit hyped. There is so much going on, we really don't know, and it's a bit hard to tell for some blurry images. I mean, that to me looks like it's some sort of tech glider or tech bike. Then again, it could just be someone in a tech suit riding very quickly. Of course, none of this is going to matter if the game is really buggy, it's broken, just like it was for Aberration's release, and just like it was for full release, and pretty much every release they've ever done. I really hope that the delay, because remember this was meant to come out in spring, I really hope it's been worth it. I really hope it launches nice and well and I don't have to do any shitty videos criticising them for releasing something that doesn't work. It seems really ambitious, they're really going for it with these big dinosaurs, and most common joke is how the hell is it going to run? Let me know in the comment section what you're most looking forward to, and let's leave any salt and criticism until it comes out, and then we'll all jump on that bandwagon. Like I've been telling you guys, if you want all the news first, get your ass here. I'm Jade Plays Games for the best information about survival games, ARK Survival Evolved, and all brand new stuff coming out. Make sure you've got notifications turned on. Until next time, rat bags, laters!